What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Final Victory War Machine, their version of a Warpath. So this guy came out a while ago, but they're now more recently providing individually packaged figures. We did take a look at their version of Huffer, and now we're taking a look at their Warpath. This was provided to me by James Magaletta. He's been providing me a lot of stuff, actually. He's the same person that gave me the Stomp and a few other figures that I had before I actually had them. And so he's very kind to be sending me all those very expensive, very nice Fans Toys figures. So thank you once again, James. But here we have the box. Pretty simple. It's got some product shots on the back. There are 3 of them in this series. I did take a look at this one. I'm not sure I'm going to take a look at this Hummer. It's kind of off for me, but that's really it for the package. You do get a instruction manual here. Very, very, very simple. It's also a very simple transformation, so you don't need much of instructions. And then you get a collector's card here. I haven't even opened this. This isn't mine, so I don't want to open it for him. But that's really it for the packaging. Let's get this guy out here and see how good he actually is. And here we have the figure out of the packaging. And we'll take a quick 360. We'll put the G1 cartoon over here so you can take a look. And, surprisingly not too bad. Actually, the face sculpt is pretty good. These are, by the way, these are around $35 a piece. So when you compare it to traditional Masterpiece toys right now, they're running somewhere between $60 and $100. This is a bargain, but it does, it is a bargain Masterpiece. There you have the side. You do have the typical tank treads on the arm, which is cartoon accurate. Here's the back. Pretty clean back. You have a little bit of a flap here, but it just kind of hides away. It's not a big deal. Overall, pretty clean. There is quite a bit of die cast on here. So this whole top part is all die cast, similar to the Fans Toys version. You got all die cast up there. This is all plastic here. This is all plastic here. You do have die cast right here in these treads, here and here. These treads are plastic, so just these pieces here. So pretty much his chest and his feet. You do get accessories with this guy, so you get 2 guns. They're just pegs and they fit right into his hands fairly easily. You just pop them in there. By the way, this guy never had, or I can't remember seeing an episode where he had guns separate from his actual chest cannon. So this might be a little sacrilegious for some people, but you do get the guns. It actually does fit in his vehicle mode, which is kind of cool. But there you go, there's his guns. Pretty nice that he has those accessories. So let's go over articulation. So the head is on a ball joint, although there's a little bit of weirdness going on. It kind of clicks and gets stuck in place. I don't know why it does that, but you can't really have it in another position. It's either that position or that position. It does rotate all the way around, and then you get a side-to-side movement. You get a shoulder rotation all the way around. You get it up to there, down to there. You get a rotation at the bicep, I believe single jointed elbow, but it does get you past 90 degrees all the way up to there. You do get a little bit of inward and outward movement on this wrist. That's it. No finger articulation, no wrist articulation. Completely solid hands there. Just, cost-cutting measures there. If you open up this flap, you do get if you open up this flap, you do get a waist swivel. You can get it swiveled all the way around. It's very tight, and it does kind of click back into the center, which is nice. Put that back down. You do have a hip skirt here, single hip skirt. You get the leg all the way up to there on a soft ratchet. Back to here on a soft ratchet, hindered by this back piece, although if you move that out of the way, you can get that all the way up. And then out to the side on another ratchet, I guess another soft ratchet. I think they're supposed to be hard ratchets, but they feel like soft ratchets. Soft ratchet in the knee gets you 90 degrees, a little under 90 degrees. I don't know, it's kind of a strange joint, but it gets you, I'll give them 90 degrees. You do have a ankle tilt that gets you all the way out to there. It does have a panel here, so that's a little unsightly, but it's okay. And you get an ankle tilt forward and backwards. It's forward to there and back all the way. So all the things you want. A lot of squeakiness in those, but not an issue in terms of the noise. Pretty good articulation. You could get this chest cannon out if you wanted to, but not really meant to do that. Just want to show you, you can pull that out if you want to. And there he is with the DX9 Richtofen, their version of Powerglide, and the Takara Tomy version of Blue Streak. Pretty nice size there. He's almost exact same size as Powerglide, which I think is what you want. And then a little bit shorter than the Carbots, which also makes sense. So again, scale and eyeball holder, but you can decide what's the right size for you. And there he is with the Fans Toys version of Warpath. They call him Sheridan. And you could just see, I mean, they're so different in their sculpt and in the way they've, I mean, a lot of it is the same, like the arms and stuff like that, and the feet, but just the level of complexity and the level of detail, it's very hard to compare these two. And in fact, you know, I originally had planned to do a versus for these two. That's actually why James sent this to me, but at this point, I think it's just a little, it's silly. You know, it's going to be a silly comparison. Obviously, Fans Toys is going to be a much more mature product. It is a little bit bigger, so that might have given this points in the sculpt arena. But overall, I mean, the quality and the level and the detail, it's not going to hold up. So I'm not going to do a versus, but I did want you to be able to see these two side by side. You can see, you know, the Fans Toy is definitely bigger, different color. It's got that more maroonish color, whereas the Final Victory is more red. And even the face sculpts, you know, they're a little bit more different too. The Fans Toy is more round, whereas you got more of a squared off look for the Final Victory. They both have the eye mask. They both look good, but definitely very different. But we're not going to do the versus, so there you go. There's your comparison. Now let's get this guy transformed into his vehicle mode. Pretty easy transformation. There are some little things to watch out for, but overall pretty easy, so let's get him transformed. We'll start with the arms here, so go ahead and pull this away. This is supposed to peg into his arm, but I find that it doesn't in robot mode. It does in vehicle mode. So go ahead and open up this panel here, collapse the arm down, and then peg this back into the top of the arm. That one does peg in. Go ahead and open up this panel here, and that should fold all the way down and tab in to the treads, and then close his hand up. And then go ahead and pull this panel back right here. It can tend to be tight depending on which one. Some, you know, this is mileage vary kind of thing, but mine is this one tends to be tight on this side. Go ahead and pull this arm panel out of here and pull this away, and then you can close up this. Okay. So same on this side. We're not going to belabor the point. Open this up, collapse the arm down, close this, peg it in, open up this panel. Push the hand in, and then release this tab here. That releases the arm, and actually that also releases the entire top piece here. So just leave that there for now, and we're going to take care of the back here. So go ahead and take these panels and shimmy them forward, and those are going to peg back into here. Again, shimmy forward on that slider, and then push that back into there. Okay, and those are now ready for their next piece. For the feet, go ahead and fold that down on that squeeze joint, push that in, and then go ahead and push the leg into the bottom, and that'll go, that's about as far as it'll go. It'll butt up against this. Same on this side, fold the foot, push the foot in, and then push the leg in. Then you can peg these two feet together and go ahead and, now that you have the legs in, you can attach the front here, and they're going to peg in right there. You're going to peg that in, same on this side. And again, you're putting plastic into metal, so this is die cast, this is plastic, so just be careful. It's not, you know, not the best thing to do. fold this down until it sits flat like that. Open up this panel here. Open up this panel here. Pull the cannon out, and that'll allow the head to go all the way down. Close this panel up. Take this panel, fold that up and around, and you're going to see there's two tabs that are going to fit right there. Let's go ahead and put those in. Make sure you have everything all pegged together. And here we have the War Machine in his vehicle mode. Pretty good looking vehicle mode. It is not painted except for this part here. The rest of this is just a more shiny plastic. There are little detail. There's one detail there, and then this is painted that silverish chrome color. Well, this opened up, so I'll just show you. There's a little detail there. It's kind of neat. That's really it for paint detail. Oh, and sorry, you have a little bit of silver detail up here too. Not too bad of a tank mode, actually. You do get some articulation, so the turret can rotate all the way around. It is die-cast. There's a little antenna. There are some details up there on the top there. It does look pretty good. You can put the cannon up to there, down to there. And again, this isn't my toy, so I don't want to push it past where I think it can go. So you can get that articulated pretty nicely. There's a slot there, so if you wanted to put the handgun there, you could. Or, which the thing makes more sense, is this machine gun looking thing. That looks a lot better. Unfortunately, you can't put this anywhere if you put that there. So pretty good looking. I'm surprised at how this looks. Let's do some size comparison. So there he is with the X-Transbots Neptune, their version of Sea Spray, and the Takara Tomy version of Prowl. And pretty good scale. You can see he fits well with the mini bots, right? Pretty much the same size as this version of Sea Spray, at least this version anyway. And then smaller than Autobot Car, which as a mini bot I think makes sense. He's a little bit taller as the tank, but overall this size looks good. So final thoughts on this little guy. It is kind of fun, you know. It's easy to transform and it's fun in both modes, but there are definitely some issues. So let's start with the negative. So there are some fit and finish kind of things. You know, you can see there's some flashing, and I don't know if that's a stress mark or that's just where they cut the plastic, but you can see that up in there. There's some other little fit and finish things like this peg, and actually this happened again when I transformed it back to robot mode. This peg tends to come off right there, and that's a little worrisome because if you lose that peg, you're done. You lose that panel completely. And you know, a little bit of looseness here and there, but overall pretty a fun little figure. $30. You know, it's a pretty good stand-in Warpath. Is it the best Warpath out there? Definitely not, right? There's definitely better Warpaths. We have the Bad Cube version for our Masterpiece, and we also have the Fans Toys version. Me personally, I definitely enjoy the Fans Toys version. But if you're looking for a Warpath and you want something just fun and cheap, and you can't get a hold of the other versions, then this is a pretty good figure for the price. But ultimately, for me, it just doesn't do the job. I wouldn't recommend it for your Masterpiece shelf, but pretty good as a stand-in. And you can see this is kind of flopping downwards, but pretty good as a stand-in. That's really all I have to say. There's a little bit of trouble balancing because he's got this front foot that's pretty angled, so you got to be careful how you have him positioned. But overall, not too bad. So that's really it for this guy. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.